is start to record this session so that we can refer to this afterwards. So I've just begun a recording now, and we should be able to refer to back to this later on. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right into things. If you have any questions, some really glaring questions, or some obvious things that you think I might need to go over, please don't hesitate to try to put them into the question box. I am doing this training session on my own, so it'll be difficult for me to go back and forth, but I'll do my very best, okay? So right now, I'm actually in a job. I have just created a new estimate and won that estimate. So this is a brand new job. That is the circumstance that you'll be able to see this contracts tab here. We can click that there, and basically if you have an already existing job or an already existing estimate, we will not be able to see the contracts tab. So it's going to be new estimates and new jobs that you can only see this contracts tab with. So some of the functionality, let's just go through this here. We have this drop-down menu here, and this shows the current contract. As I create change orders, you'll be able to see the original contract, the current contract, and any individual change orders that line up inside of that. And you'll understand that later on as we add new change orders to this job. Okay. Again, you can expand and collapse all. There's the same kind of functionality as you have on other windows. And then we have our new change order button. So that's how we're going to create new change orders. On the billing side, there's just a little bit of new stuff here. We have the same drop-down menu. So for change orders, we actually allow you to bill separately and encourage you to bill separately because you don't want to have the billing confused and you want to make sure everything's regimented properly. A lot of the times if it's a one-off tree or something like that, that's going to be the change. You may not even be billing any money, but you want to create an invoice and make sure you're accounting for that. So if some of the changes get to be too much, you can start charging the customer. So we'll see later on some of that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just start off a change, and so I'm going to have a look first at our current contract. You can see I have two work areas, work area 1 and work area 2. I have some planting labor, I have some cost book items here, and then I have a bed preparation kit and some general conditions. I also have a paver patio kit and some general conditions for that. So we've got a couple of items in this job, and so what I'm going to do is just collapse that and create a new change order. So let's just go over the site right now, the page in front of me. You can see a description of the change order, so you can actually name your change orders up here. You have some notes here. You have who it's requested by, who it's created by, the change order date, and then the completion date, or when it's expected to be completed. These are our two contacts under this company. So Bill McLean and Kirk Weir are the two contacts. So if it was requested by Bill McLean or the partner in the company, Kirk Weir, we can select who that is. We can also put change request notes. So whatever it's for on the internal side, why the change happened or anything like that. We can add crew notes. This will show up on the timesheet. Change order notes, they'll show up on the change order, and then terms and conditions that go along with it. If we wanted to add anything like that, whether or not there was warranties or there's a certain payment schedule or payment terms or something like that that you wanted to talk about in terms and conditions. And then we have the items. So here you can see along the top we have the expand all and the collapse all, the regular buttons there. And then we have add new items, delete items, make a substitution, change quantity. So the circumstances that you would use each of these, adding a new item you would add a new item when they requested more shrubs, more trees, more of something. But if you already have those items in a work area or in the job, you can actually change the quantity of them as well. So it's usually I'll use change quantity for kits. So if I wanted to increase or decrease the square footage of a paver patio, I would use change quantity. If I was adding a couple of new trees that we already have, I would probably just add new items. Deleting items, same thing. If you're deleting some trees, but not if you're changing the quantity. If you're reducing the quantity of a kit, you will always want to use change quantity. You do not delete the items. When you use delete items, it's going to remove the kit completely. It's not going to change the quantity for you. Making a substitution is obviously replacing an item. If you wanted to replace a certain type of shrub, or if you're out of them, or if something's happened and you want to change them, you can make a substitution. And then editing the general conditions. On any of these, you can actually edit the general conditions. So if you've changed the quantity, for example, if you've reduced the size of a paver patio and you wanted to change the general conditions that go with it, because now instead of 10 days of work on the job, you're doing 5 days, you can change the general conditions to reflect that, and they will reduce in coordination with that. So that's a basic rundown of the buttons there. The next section is the payment options. So you can actually select your payment options. There's a default payment schedule for change orders, 50% upon a contract acceptance, and then upon job completion. Usually for a lot of small changes, adding trees or extending a patio or changing the size of it, you're going to do 50% upon acceptance of contract, and then 50% when you finish the job. Especially if it's just that same day, you'll be able to do that. And then you can also add payments and do whatever else you need to do as far as the payment side. And then that will be reflected just the same way as it usually is under your regular billing tab. Okay? So I just want to double check everyone can hear me okay. I don't want to move too quickly through this stuff. If you can, if you have any issues, then just please let me know. It doesn't look like we are having any issues, so what I'm going to do is just move forward. What I'm going to do first is add a new item. So I'm on my change order. I want to start from the top. I'm going to add a description of what I want to do. I want a completion date. It's going to be today. And I can add some notes if I want to. I don't really need to for this example. It's pretty straightforward. Request notes. We can just close that off. And now what we want to do is add new items. This is your regular add items screen. We just pop over to plants, go down to trees, and select our trees. So I think I said we wanted to add 4 new plants. Here you can see you can select the work area that you want to work in. I said that it's in an existing bed, so what I'm going to do is existing bed work area, and I'm going to add those 4 trees. So this is actually going to create a new work area for us. We can add that to the change order. So right now, if I expand this, you can see that it's the cost book items. You can see what we've got here, and there was no labor attached with those items, so I have no worries. Very straightforward. If I wanted to just add a couple of extra items, I could do that. I'm just going to select a random item right now to add to that same work area. And I just want to show you that the functionality is there. To remove it, you just click it off. All right. I'm going to edit general conditions. We won't need all of these general conditions. All I know is that for those extra trees, what I will need is a delivery fee, because we're going to have to go pick those trees up. So I just added 1 hour of a delivery fee to go pick up the trees, and that's that. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with our payment terms down here, and so I'm going to save and close that. So you'll notice that we've moved back to the contract screen now, and when I look at this drop down, I have our current contract, our pending change order, and then our original contract. So this is pending right now because we need to approve this change order. The change order doesn't move forward unless we've had it signed off on. So we have an original contract and the current contract that will look identical. We want to click on this pending change order, and now we have the options to look at the tools and actions menu. So what we can do here is print a work order, print a change order, approve this, or delete it. What we would want to do is print a change order. This is what we're going to have someone sign off on. So we print that, and that gives me the functionality to go right to a report, look at a few of the options, make sure that I want to show item costs, show general conditions. No, I don't want to show them that we're charging them for a delivery fee. Include the terms and conditions, yes, and show item details, of course. So view that report. Now I'm just going to export this to PDF file in an Acrobat. It just has a better look as far as I'm concerned. So we can see here what project it is, who it's for, all that kind of stuff. So here you can see there's the extra costs that are allotted here, and then the new total. So this is the sum including the change order. So there was our original contract plus our change order. This is our new total, and then just where we want to sign off. So we can have this fired off to the customer, and they can sign off on it right off the bat. So I'm just going to close that up. I'm going to go back to the job. We can say now that it has been approved. We've printed off the change order. The customer's approved it. So we go ahead and we approve this change order. There's a question here from Patrick. Yes, the labor will automatically be added if it is tied to a plant. That's correct. I didn't select a plant there that had labor on it, but it will. And vice versa, it will be subtracted if I'm deleting an item that has labor attached to it. And yes, the change order will be estimated at the same rate that the original margin has been, sorry, the original margin that the change order was sold, or the original job was sold at, is the margin that you'll use for the change order. So everything will be the same, and you can actually step into any of those items just like you could on the estimate screen and change the pricing if you would like. Now, Bill, I'll speak to you about your question instead of sending it to QuickBooks afterwards. I'm just going to try to move on with a few more things. So now that we've saved and approved that timesheet or that change order, our current contract reflects the new work area, the new general conditions, and the new price. So if we expand all of that, we can see our new total price. And it has all of our items inside it. We can also look back at our original contract that doesn't have those items, and that was our original price to begin with. Okay, so moving on the same job, if I want to look at that change order, I want to also print off a work order for our guys. So for that change. So there's a couple of options that we can put in here, but it's the exact same work order report as we have in other functionality under estimates and jobs. So I'm just going to review that report quickly to show you that it reflects only those items. So those four trees that I added and the delivery charge. Okay? So we know that we have to go and pick them up or do the delivery for those four items, and we're all set. And that's us ready to go on the production side. Coming back to the contract, I want to go through deleting some items. So if we get to the point where we've approved a contract and we have this, indecisive customer, we can go ahead and remove those same items. We cannot just delete a change order now. You'll notice that on the approved change order, we do not have the option to delete it. What we'll have to do is actually create a new change order. This comes under best practices. This is where you, instead of taking the easy route and not having a paper trail of what you're doing, you make sure that you're documenting everything that you're doing right across the board. So I'm going to view our current contract. I want to do a new change order, and I want to delete some items. So actually, let me try not to skip ahead. And we want to do the change order tomorrow and go ahead and start deleting the items. So what I want to do here is select this item. See, it says that it's asking me if I want to make sure that I delete these, and I'm going to click OK. So this goes back to my point about not trying to delete certain sections of kits. If you're trying to reduce the size of a kit, remember you have to use change quantity. So I'm just deleting those. I'm not going to edit the general conditions because we delivered those. We charged for those the time it took to go deliver the trees, and we're going to keep that amount of money because you're not going to have us running around all over the place and not charge us, not have us charge you. So moving forward, that's a very quick change order. We can just save and close that. And I'm going to go to this pending change order and approve this. So this is actually a negative number, and so that we're going to be giving that back to our customer. We're going to approve that. Yes. And now our current contract no longer has that work area on it. It is still holding that delivery cost under general conditions there as far as the changes go. And we're still at our original contract. So you can see here, we're still at near the same number of our original contract. So we have two change orders here that were approved. We've tracked them. You can see that the job number is J1177 decimal point 1. That was the first change order, and then this was the second change order. So for every change order, you're going to have a decimal place after those job numbers. Now I'm going to do a new change order. This time I'm going to change the quantity. So In this case, our customer wanted a larger patio and different stone. Actually, I'm gonna change the size before I do a more advanced change order to change the type of stone it is. So, customer wanted a larger patio. We're happy with that. I'm going to change the quantity. We have the paver patio, so I'm going to click. I can change the quantities of these single items, or I'm going to click directly on the kit here, and I'm going to change this from 1 square foot to 500 square feet. And here we can apply kit rounding or not. And that's something that you'll notice. There'll be a small dollar figure change because when you create a kit, we round up for all the quantities so that you're not shorting yourself on concrete sand or anything like that. So if you have any decimal places, we always round up. Then if you're subtracting the same size, we will round down, and in that case, you'll be removing a certain amount of stone or concrete sand or something like that. So if you don't want to apply rounding and you want an exact square footage number, then you have to uncheck that item and it won't round it off. In this case, I do want rounding because I want enough. I want to make sure I have my cushion and I round up. So there, you can see we've added 45 hours. We've added the total cost of $37.99 and the price of $6,041.98. With our taxes, we're looking at $6,067.09. We can change this. This is a larger change order. We can change the payment schedule a little bit, so we're not charging too much up front for it because they've obviously already put a big deposit down on the start of this job. So I'm happy with that. I'm just going to save and close that. And I'm going to step into this. I'm going to double check the change order. So I'll view that. You can see all the parts of this change order. And we can have it signed off on. So I'm happy with that. Move forward and approve this change order. We're assuming that it comes back in, and we'll go ahead and approve that timesheet or that change order. So now if we look at our current contract, we look at that, second work area, paver patio. There we are. Okay. And if I wanted to create a work order for that specific one, I would just click on that work order, the 0.3, and create that work order. Again, I can still create a whole work order for the job. The job will now refer to the current contract. So any reporting that I do on this now, whether it's create a timesheet report, whether I create a work order report, material list report, it's going to use this current contract, not the original contract. Now, does anyone have any questions about this so far? I'm going to try to go through and answer, but if you want to type in a few questions right now, I'm happy to answer them. Michael, on the timesheets, I can actually show you the timesheets now if you'd like. I've saved this, so this is the current contract. I can pop into timesheets, add a new timesheet. And so you can see here we increased the size of the work area, or sorry, the kit, and those numbers are reflected on this timesheet. Yeah, so right now, obviously I wouldn't create a new timesheet if I've already created that day's timesheet. So the next day, you're going to create a new timesheet, and all the numbers are going to be updated. The labor hours are going to be updated in it. The work areas are going to be updated, and all of the materials are going to be updated as well. So yes, that's correct. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go back into that job, and I'm going to change the size of that that kit just so you can see that the functionalities there, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to create a new change order. Patio is now too big. So I want to change the quantity. Completion date is going to be on Monday, and we're going to change the quantity. We're going to change the paver patio size to 400 square feet. However, because we have to rip this stuff up, it's in your best interest, just because the size, if we've already laid this down, we're going to have to do some demolition work. So what I would do is add some general conditions, or do another change order for and add labor like this. So this is how I would do it. Add new items. And I would go to labor types, debris removal, something like this. And if there was 5 hours of labor that we needed to get our money back on, I believe we would add this. So as you can see, we have plus 227 hours, and we've got minus 1,997. So we've reduced the size of the patio, but we had to remove a few things or do some work on the job. We can do both of those at the same time. I'm happy with the payment schedule, and or we can do 100% of it and just give them a return on that. It just depends on what you want. So save and close that, and then move forward. I'm just going to pop back to our menu here. I think by the sounds of I'm not getting a lot of questions, so I'm thinking that it's a very straightforward functionality, and that people are understanding this. So what I want to do is just go through this menu section and show you just the help menu a little bit. So I'm going to do that. If you have any questions or you're typing them up, please feel free to. We've still got some time left, so we can go over that. What I wanted to do is just open up this help menu. I actually showed how to do this to a friend of mine recently. If you noticed, I clicked on the help button, but I didn't open a new menu in front of me, and this has actually helped quite a few people navigating around Manage360. I held the control button, so I'm holding the control button right now, and then I can actually open multiple windows all at the same time. So I just opened timesheets, billing, and reports all at the same time, and I have them all in different windows. So that's just a quick little trick to increase your functionality around navigating Manage a little bit, and it can be pretty beneficial. So under Help, I just click this Help button right here, and this is the menu that pops up. So this is the manual for us. And if you go to change orders, you can actually go through all the steps that I just went through. The change orders, how it affects the timesheets, job actuals, analysis, creating a change order. So I can click here, and this will walk me through this kind of stuff. And this stuff can be really helpful for, you feel like you're forgetting something or forgetting a step. You can just pop into this and navigate through, and it's very clear. You can just jump through it. And a lot of the times this is going to save you a call to support or a call to myself and waiting on us getting back to you. So this is a really, really good way to help yourself, especially with new functionality. Like I said, there's the same stuff for everything that you can do and manage. We have this manual set out for you. So some people don't actually know about it. Some people haven't been familiarized with it, or they tend to forget about it. So I thought that would be a good thing for us to go through and just show you all of the windows there. Now, we do have some questions, so just bear with me. I'll try to answer some of them. Where you'll see that, Patrick, I don't know if everyone can read his question. Where do you see what the system removed? We can actually, if I'm on this change order, I can expand all, and it shows everything that it's removed. It will also, we can also create a work order for this, which will actually show us the negative stuff that we either don't need to bring to the job site or stuff that we need to remove from the job site. And so that's important, especially before you get this approved, to maybe just have a look at the work order and know that you're going to have to. Not only did we bring all of that sand and we've already purchased some of it, we're going to have to bring that back to the job site. So there's not only just debris removal labor hours that we have to recover. There's also some delivery charge and some time with the trucks that we need to recover. And so that's important stuff to make sure that you're recovering on your change orders. And you can do some of that through general conditions, and you can do some of that through just adding new items. It really depends on the customer and how they react with things. If you change the general conditions, it won't necessarily show up as a line item because you can hide general conditions. Whereas if you want to make sure they're aware that you're charging them because they've been indecisive and they don't want an extension on the patio or something that they originally wanted, but you've already done the work to get it there, then you definitely want to make them aware of it. Restocking can definitely be a good labor description, yes. Now, does anyone have any other questions? I think we can wrap this up. Moving forward, if you have any questions at all, I'll just bring this slide back up again, but most of you will have my email address, and you'll have my email address. You have the telephone number for DynaSCAPE. Please don't hesitate to call me. I'm the account manager. I'm there to help you and walk you through this kind of stuff. We can make a quick web session and make sure that you're on track with everything and that you're doing things properly. And if there's a question that I can't answer, I can walk over to a developer and speak to them right away and make sure that we get this through, because I know that you're running your business on this, and we don't want you slowed down and losing money because you can't work on it. So please contact me if you have any questions whatsoever. Feel free to email me or call me, okay? Thank you very much. I hope you found this beneficial for what it was. If there's any extra questions, please stick around. I'll just leave this on for another 5 minutes while everyone finishes off. Okay? Thank you very much.